Now let's go to Wellington. Paul Goldsmith, National Minister, and Ginny Anderson from Labour are with us for our Friday political panel. Good morning.
Top of the morning to you,
Good
Ryan.
morning, Ryan.
Top of the morning. Ginny, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in ages. You well?
I'm well, thank you, yes.
Good, good. Paul, it's nice to see you too. Now, the issue of the week, I think, well, obviously there's what's happened in Gaza. We've just spoken to Winston Peters about that. But is the Jobseeker changes that you've announced. Minister, if somebody is disabled, has had an accident, had a mental breakdown, and they're 18 or 19, you're saying that parents who are on 65k or more a year are going to have to support them. Do you really think that's fair?
Well, it's people who are on Jobseeker benefits, that is that they're ready for work within the 2-year period. And our simple message is that the best thing for generally the mental health of young people and all people generally is to be able to get into work and to be encouraged to get to work. And so that's our primary focus, is getting young people into work. We know that if you get onto a benefit at a young age, you're much more likely to stay on that benefit for a very long time. And so our whole focus of our welfare policy is to stop people getting into that cycle of being on benefits as much as we can, and to encourage them to get back out to work. And so that's what the focus of all this is.
But what if they can't work?
That's the point.
Yeah, Ginny, this to me makes no sense, because the idea is you're encouraging people to get into work, but if a doctor has said you cannot work, then how does that work?
Well, that's the question the government has failed to answer so far, that if you have young people, whether it be mental health or other issues, that they're simply given no choice. But these are families, Ryan, who are currently on the breadline, struggling with the cost of living, and they're being asked to support 18 and 19-year-olds who already have complex problems. This does not seem like a solution. But what's hard on top of that is that even if those young people don't have health issues, there's no money for each training. University fees have gone up. They've cut apprenticeship boost. They're not actually giving young people hope or opportunities here.
Well, we are giving them hope, and of course the vast majority of young people in the situation can get out and work, and that is the purpose of the Jobseeker benefit, is to go and seek for a job.
No, I get it, Minister, I get that, but what about the people who can't? Like if somebody has severe, if you go to the website for WINS, it lists things like severe asthma attacks, things that might be temporary in nature but stop them from working full time. How can they work?
Well, look, everybody has challenges, and what we're looking for is people to find the ability to do some work. Not everybody can do working all the time, but you can do some work, and to look for that first job and to get into the working habit, and that's the most important thing. And so what we're trying to do is to send a clear signal to young people: don't just choose a life on the benefit, but actually get out there and start your work, get encouraged to take responsibility for yourself. And then ultimately, we also...
They're not choosing a life on the benefit. That these particular young people, they have no choice, Ginny. That's kind of the point.
It's exactly the point, and I think that's the point this government fails to recognise. And that's a key factor, no doubt, in why there's 36,000 fewer jobs in New Zealand under this government. Not only are they telling people who can't work to work, but there are no jobs in the region for young people to go to, even if they could work. And that's why we've got 200 a day going to Australia.
If it was simple as that, Ryan, during the period when Carmel Sepuloni was in charge, and we had a time when, you'll recall, every employer was crying out for jobs. There was this massive shortage of workers, and we still had a big increase in people on the benefit under Labour.
Agree with you there.
So it's not a simple mechanism. It's about the signals that we send, and the signal that we're sending as a government is that we want people to get off welfare. We expect families to encourage young people to do that, and that's important.
Fair enough. Speaking of messages that people are wanting to get across, to Pāti Māori's message yesterday was reset. It was all a bit weird. I don't know if you caught up with what happened yesterday, Ginny, but there was a press conference about a reset, but no one was allowed to ask any questions about what was being reset. Did you find it all a bit odd?
Well, look, I wish them all the best with their reset, and
Very close coalition partners.
and I welcome Oreni Kaipara to Parliament, and all the best for her journey in here as well.
Well, ultimately, New Zealanders are going to have a choice next year whether they want to go with Labour, the Greens, and Te Pāti Māori. And look, they obviously do not regard themselves as accountable to the people of New Zealand. They don't answer questions to the general press, and they refuse to go through the tiles and be accountable. And that's not a very good way to operate in an open democracy.
We've made it very clear that we'll lay out who we'll be working with closer to the election.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of
whoever
have
we
to.
need, I think is
Well,
the idea.
exactly.
Yes, and
You have to. I guess the question, Ginny, would be whether you would be comfortable at around the cabinet table with, Rawiri Waititi or Debbie Ngāre Wapaka.
Those are questions that are really for our leadership, and also that's a question that we'll lay out before the election.
Hey,
and there's a lot to happen before then. I wish them all the best with the fact they're attempting a reset, and I think it's really it's great to have a new member of Parliament like Oreni Kaipara.
Yeah, Oreni's great. But what are they resetting from? That's the weird. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
The haka.
I think that's a question for them.
I think they're resetting from not being accountable and not answering any questions to still not being accountable and still not answering any questions.
Okay.
So that's
Hey,
great progress.
the haka in Parliament yesterday. I mean, this is the second time it's happened now. Ginny, do we need to sort this out somehow? Change the rules so that it can be allowed? I mean, if you change the rules so that it was allowed, I mean, then you presumably wouldn't have the types of interruptions you're having because it would just be agreed upon and everyone would know it's coming.
Well, that should be the job of the Business Committee in Parliament. And since I've been a member of Parliament, we've seen some great changes, some real progress in how much we have Māori tikanga involved in our day-to-day parliamentary business. So I think it's time for it to continue to involve. I think the haka we're all proud of when the All Blacks do it. It would be nice to be able to have it in a way in Parliament where it's also accepted.
Yeah, well, my understanding is it wasn't to do with it being a haka, it was to do with an arrangement being made about what was going to happen and some clear assurances given, and something different happened. And we're a busy Parliament, we've got lots to do, we've got things to get on with, and the Speaker is just trying to stick to arrangements that were made, and I think that's fair enough.
All right. Okay. Hey, good to see you both. Thanks so much for being with me this morning on a Friday. That is Paul Goldsmith from National and Ginny Anderson from Labour.